Hello and welcome everyone. This is Shaurya and you are watching Money Time. Well, today's Money Time can be considered as RBI time because we will give you various updates from RBI's meeting. Well, we begin today with another looming interest rate hikes. Now, banks are expected to increase rate of interest at which they sanction loans such as home loan, auto loan, personal loans, etc. because RBI has expectedly raised the repo rate to 6.25%. As RBI increased the repo rate by 0.35%, banks are also expected to raise the rate of interest in the coming days. So far, in current financial year, the RBI has raised repo rate by more than 2%. Repo rate is a monetary policy tool of RBI to control inflation in the economy. And staying with Monetary Policy Committee meeting, contrary to the World Bank's stance on India's GDP, the RBI on Wednesday revised down GDP forecast to 6.8% for financial year 2023. Yesterday, the World Bank had revised upwards the GDP projections and had said that India had shown resilience to global shocks than its emerging peers. However, the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das said despite downward revision of India will remain among the fastest growing major economies in the world. He further added that the Indian economy was a bright spot in the gloomy world. And remaining with RBI, the central bank said that inflation may fall below the 6%, which is upper limit of the target band in the fourth quarter of FY23. Apex Bank expects inflation to fall to 5.9% in the March quarter. On average, inflation for entire financial year, RBI expects it to remain at 6.7% in FY23, but on the condition that the average crude oil price will remain near $100 per barrel. And if the monsoon is normal, then inflation will further fall in the first quarter of next financial year. And with bumper Rabi harvest, food inflation can fall in the quarter 1 of FY24, while cereals, milk and spices inflation can remain a concern in the near term. Nevertheless, the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das said the central bank was keeping Arjun's eye on inflation. And another news is also from RBI. RBI is going to bring a huge change in UPI transactions. The way you make UPI transactions is going to change forever. Now, very soon, money will be debited from your account only when goods ordered has been delivered. Suppose you order something from Amazon, you make payment through UPI, but the money will be debited from your account only when Amazon has delivered whatever you have ordered. Similarly, if you book a hotel room in advance by making payment through UPI, but money will be debited from your account only on the day of hotel booking has been booked. You will get this facility only if you make the payment through UPI. And second condition is that delivery of goods and services should be made on a later date. Now, RBI is in talks with NPCI to implement this with the benefit on UPI payments. And as we said earlier, with hikes in repo rates, banks are expected to raise lending rates. With Reserve Bank of India raising repo rate to 6.25%, several banks have announced hike in lending rates. Public sector lender, the Canara Bank raised 1-year MCLR to 8.15%. Private sector lender, the HDFC Bank has also raised its 1-year MCLR to 8.6%. The interest rate on various types of loans are tied with 1-year MCLR of the bank. So, home loans, auto loans and other type of loans with these financial institutions will also become further costlier. And yet another automobile manufacturer has said that it is going to increase car prices in January next year. After Maruti and Tata Motors, luxury car maker Audi has also announced that it is going to increase car prices in January. Audi will increase the car prices by up to 1.7%. Audi has also cited the same reason what mainstream passenger vehicle brands like Maruti and Tata had said behind the price hike decision, which is cost pressures and input price hike. Currently, the German-based luxury car maker has 10 petrol-powered vehicles in India's portfolio and 5 EVs under e-tron brand. Next news is for those who have Airtel's connection. Airtel has launched World Pass for people who regularly travel abroad. The new postpaid and prepaid plans under the World Pass start from 649 rupees. Validity range from 1 to 365 days. In case you are in a foreign country and you don't have any active plans, then Airtel gives you the option of subscribing data plans. These data plans cost 1536 rupees for 1 GB data every day. This plan will be available in the countries like US, UK, Nepal, China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, etc. While you will have to pay a little higher if you want to use Airtel's data plans in countries like South Africa, Mauritius, Maldives, Mali, Egypt, etc. In these countries, Airtel's 1 GB data plan will cost 3072 rupees. Airtel has also stopped international roaming plans. Those who have already activated such plans, they need not worry. You can continue using a plan till the validity ends. Now, India Ratings has raised its concerns on country's manufacturing sector. The agency said that India's manufacturing sector growth fell to as low as 1.4% in second quarter of FY23. Factory output data suggests that 8 sectors contracted in the same quarter. The agency believes many industrial sectors will face headwinds on the export front in the coming days. Exports will continue to face more headwinds. In fact, merchandise exports had contracted for the first time in 19 months by a massive 16.7% to $29.8 billion in October 2022. The tepid manufacturing sector growth will impact country's GDP in the second half of current financial year. Now, the agency expects H2 FY23 GDP growth rate to fall to 4 to 4.5%. India Ratings also has its own projections for inflation, but for the month of November, the agency sees a bright spot in the falling inflation numbers. It expects inflation to fall around to 6.6% in November. It expects inflation to further soften in December, provided Ukraine war does not worsen. It also expects wholesale inflation to soften going forward. Wholesale inflation in October came in at 8.4%. Since the outbreak of COVID-19 pandemic, India has seen both wholesale and retail inflation at worrisome level. But from October 2022 onwards, there has been slight correction. Next news is for mutual fund investors. Axis AMC has launched a new debt fund. The NFO opened for subscriptions on Wednesday and will close on December 21. It's an open-ended scheme. The scheme is for long duration with a debt fund with maturity of more than 7 years with no exit clause. The benchmark of this scheme is Nifty's long duration debt index A-triple. Chandresh Nigam, who is MD of Axis AMC, said that this scheme is an attractive option for those investors who are in middle of their career life cycles and wish to plan for post-retirement life. And we end up today with updates on mobile phones. Xiaomi is gearing up to launch the Redmi Note 12 series in India. The company took to Twitter to confirm the launch of its latest series of smartphones. According to media reports, one of the smartphones, the Redmi Note 12 Pro 5G, could debut as the most expensive smartphone in the Note series in India. The Redmi Note 12 Pro Plus is expected to house 12 GB of RAM and up to 256 GB of storage space. But the most striking feature will be 200 megapixel camera and 16 megapixel front cameras for taking selfies. The 12 series has already been launched in China. Let's keep our fingers crossed when can Xiaomi launch it and when you can start pre-booking. Well, that's it for today. Hope you like this content. And for more such content, you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube. And also, you can download our app from the Play Store.